Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have the episode 4 overview of Thebadbatch. And I've got to say, this episode was really good, although it was not at all what I was expecting, because this episode was entirely Bad Batch focused, unlike I predicted in my video on it, because I just wasn't expecting it to be like this. Anyway, let's hop into what happened. So, the Bad Batch is now completely on the run. They know they're in big trouble if they don't find somewhere to land and hide away soon. Hopefully on an uninhabited planet, so they can just completely get away with this whole thing. So their plan, to start with, is to go look for a completely uninhabited planet. But unfortunately, that plan isn't very long-lived, because, as Tech points out, they're running out of fuel. Great. So now the Bad Batch need to find another planet, not so uninhabited, to refuel, restock rations, and to gain the ability to scramble their ship's ID code, because now the Empire has broadcast it out to the entire Empire as a wanted ship. So now the Bad Batch is on the run from the entire galaxy, which is great. So the Bad Batch has to do these three things, and they do find a planet called Pantora, and they land on it and begin to start this whole plan off by finding food, fuel, and to change the ID code. So Hunter, Omega, and Echo go off to find some food and fuel. That's their mission. So they go off and do that. They trade Echo in for some more credits to get some more fuel, because they think Echo's a droid, because that's how they've dressed him up. Omega goes missing because of something that happened with a clone trooper toy being stolen by some Star Wars dogs, which look really cute, by the way. And then, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Tech and Wrecker bribe the guy at the dockyards to not scan the ship for its ID code, because they know what's going to happen if he does that. So they bribe him, and he says, okay, but then he does contact somebody who does feed into the Omega going missing part, and that is Fennec Shand. If you don't know who Fennec Shand is, she is from The Mandalorian, and spoilers for The Mandalorian, does become Boba Fett's right-hand person, which is really cool to see that she's actually in this show. We knew she was going to be in this show, I just wasn't expecting her this soon, so that was pretty cool to see that she's back. But she does kidnap Omega, because it appears that there's a bit of a bounty on Omega's head. And if you know a bounty hunter, well, they take whatever they can get. Then there's a brief fight between Hunter and Fennec once Hunter catches up. There's a massive fight, actually, because Hunter gets knocked out. Wrecker is asked to go and chase down Omega and Fennec to get Omega back, obviously. But once Hunter comes to again, he finds a speeder, which helps him gain on Omega and Fennec pretty quickly. But unfortunately, not before Omega's hanging off the edge of a massive comms tower. So now he's got to hightail it up there to get her back. Eventually, of course, he does. He has another massive fight with Fennec, beats her up, knocks her out, and then gets Omega back. They run back to the ship. But unfortunately, while Tech and Wrecker were reformatting the ship's ID code, they also pulled about half of one of the engines, and Tech needs some help. And luckily, the guy that Echo was sold to has a bunch of droids with him who can perform ship's maintenance. So Echo convinces the droids to go along with him to help him repair the ship, and he does so. They repair the ship. Everyone gets back to the ship just in time. They take off. Then the episode ends. I know that was quite a brief explanation, but that was all that happened in this episode. It was quite a short, well, it wasn't short in terms of length, but in terms of the events that occurred, it was all fairly fast-paced, and there wasn't much there. But it was still a really good episode. We saw some more of how the galaxy was adapted into the Empire, so much so that the Empire's even now introducing the Imperial credits and replacing the Republic ones that they've had prior, which was really cool to see. Hunter even referenced that he said, this is moving quicker than I was expecting, so he's expecting the Empire to stay, which it does for quite some time. But it was a great episode, I've got to say. Better than the last one. Not brilliant, but it was better than the last, which is quite hard because the last episode was also really good. I'm looking forward to the next episode and the next 12 because, as I've said, we're now only a quarter of the way through this phenomenal show, and I just want to see how it progresses. But yeah, brilliant episode. I've got to say, I've loved it. I'm really looking forward to the next one because I do think they are going to now start to hide from the Empire a lot. Like, they're going to be visiting some uninhabited planets, and probably end up in some trouble along the way. So yeah, I've got to say, one of the best so far. Hopefully we'll see some more of Crosshair and his stormtroopers next episode, along with Admiral Rampart and Grand Moff Tarkin, and Lama Su and Nala Se on Kamino, because there's a really interesting thing going on there. I am sure of it. We're definitely getting that clone uprising before the end of this season. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. So as always, people, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to mine and Roxanne's YouTube channels. Her link is down in the link tree in the description. My sub button is down there. Yep, that big red one. Unless you've already subbed, then it's grey. Thanks for that, by the way. And once you've subbed, don't forget to click both our bell icons to get both sets of our notifications. Comment as well, because why not? And let me know what you thought of this week's episode and what you're hoping for in next week's. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Stereo, on which I'll be going live again tomorrow. And of course, don't forget to follow Roxanne on her blog. Those links are also down in the link tree in the description. And lastly, of course, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Goodbye!